Welcome to the best vidcast in baseball. I'm Jeff Gordon with Derrick Goold from down in Jupiter, Florida. Derrick, spring training's almost over.
Mhm.
Which players should Cardinal fans feel really good about right now? And are there a couple of guys they should be worried about?
Yeah, this is the last time I'll be talking to you, Jeff, from Jupiter. As you can see over my shoulder, I've started to pack a little bit. So next time I see you, next time we talk, we'll be there after or around opening day as the Cardinals host the Twins. As they go into opening day, they've really made some moves here, roster moves, quite a bit of them that kind of crystallize and give us a real sense of the roster they're going to leave Florida with. They're going to have those decisions done well ahead of time before they head to Memphis for the exhibition game that kind of is their gateway, if you will, to the regular season. Who's playing well? Well, I think it's worth noting that you have Lars Nootbaar here recently playing a lot of center field, playing a lot of leadoff as they look at him in both of those spots. And he's had a good spring. His command of the strike zone and what he does with pitches in the strike zone, all of those things, are kind of standard for him. But he's also, put a charge in the ball, and he's had consistent at bats. Rich base 3 times the other day in a game. He's also made strides, no pun intended, in center field, Jeff, where he has, been working on going to the spot where the ball is going to meet him and not, always maintaining eye contact with it. They think that that's part of his acceleration and increasing his range. And he's made real steps towards that, working with Coach John Jay. The Cardinals look at him as their center fielder and kind of an offense first lineup. They look at him as a potential leadoff hitter, and we'll talk about why here in a little bit. And then you have a guy like Steven Matz, who's pitched very well. He's set a really good tempo. He's been athletic. He's had good movement. He came in sharp, which put him ahead of the hitters certainly. But he's maintained that. And in both of those guys' cases, probably the headline is that they're leaving spring training as of right now healthy. That's something that both of them, couldn't say about last season, whether it was spring training or during the season. They had real injury hiccups that delayed their seasons. They've gotten through the spring healthy and feeling good and moving good. In addition to them, you got the bullpen. Kind of the incumbents there have been really strong this spring and maybe a little bit under the radar. Ryan Fernandez has pitched really well. Ryan Helsley has pitched well and is ready to go. Jojo Romero has pitched very well. And then there's Matthew Liberatore. Matthew Liberatore, along with Michael McGreevy, two of the finest pitchers or impressive young pitchers that the Cardinals have had here in camp. I would probably throw into Koa Roby with that group. But McGreevy and Liberatore are pushing the Cardinals in such a way that they're considering a six-man rotation. They're considering their roles, and they've earned it with their spring training. Concerns. Well, Jeff, I think you look at what are they going to do in center field? Victor Scott has had, quote unquote, a phenomenal spring. He really has stood out. Does that win the job? Only if there's a lot of playing time for him. Otherwise, it really looks like he could be headed to Memphis to play every day and then take over center field maybe at some point in time during the season. That's because Michael Ciani struggled offensively. He's a gifted defensive player, but he's really been searching offensively. So has Mason Wynn, the Cardinals' presumptive leadoff hitter. He's been searching a little bit. And then Jordan Walker has had blips and starts, but in all three cases, injuries have come right at a time when you expect their timing to arrive and the performance to greet them at the plate and in games. And I'm not just talking about filling the box score. I'm just talking about like how they feel at the plate, the line drives, the hard hits, the command of the strike zone, those kind of things. Mason's been sort of sidelined here briefly by a wrist concern. You obviously know about Jordan Walker with his knee, and then Michael Ciani got ill, though he's back in the lineup here recently. So I think there's some moment, some reason to be concerned about the timing of them as they leave spring. And then, of course, there's the opening day starter. Sonny Gray has had a little bit different type of spring. He cautioned us that he's had bad springs and great seasons. He's had great springs and bad seasons. He's had it all over. He's a veteran. He had a very clear plan for how he was going to get through this spring to then be at full strength for his opening day start. We'll see that. Part of that was easing into his velocity, easing into full bore. So that invites some difficult box scores, especially line scores early on. There's also, Jeff, the thing that he's trying to experiment a little bit with his sequencing. He felt he got very predictable there in the second half, and the numbers show that, especially the home run totals. And so he has been tinkering a little bit with how he throws pitches and in what order and what count. And that can lead to some bruising as you work through it.
That's Derrick Goold. A reminder, you can get all of Derrick's great coverage all season in print in our digital edition of the paper at stltoday.com. We've got more video coming your way. We've got the best podcast in baseball that Derrick's had forever. Big fan base for that. All of that for you, the Cardinal fans. Let's see what happens.
And the special section, Jeff. And we got a special section Sunday coming. So
and yes, we teased some of that online, but man, it is a massive undertaking. So get ready for the season, folks. And again, thanks for your support of local journalism.